Hey there, welcome to the Hot Slice Podcast. This is the podcast brought to you by Pizza Today magazine. I am your host, Denise Greer, executive editor here at Pizza Today, and with me is our senior creative director, Josh Cowan. Hello.
Hi, Denise. Nice backdrop.
Don't you love this backdrop? I don't know who created it, but it's super fun.
They
Uh,
they must have been very talented.
they are. I just love all of the, like, if you don't know, wait, right
Right
there.
there. Yeah.
Yep, that's me. So if you're just listening to this podcast, there is a poster behind me of it is a poster of Pizza Expo, and Josh has put in all of these little, I guess, Easter eggs of people that have been known to come to the show or be a part of the show for years. So people have had a lot of fun identifying folks from the show on this poster. So we'll put a link to it down in the show notes. But it's just a little bit of fun. Uh,
We hope to have a bigger version of this as that you can get your photo made in front of at the Pizza Today booth. And I will be adding more Easter eggs to it if we indeed do that. So
I hope so. I hope that happens.
be sure to look for yourself in there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So by the time this airs, this is going to be the Thursday right before Pizza Expo. So, and if you could imagine right now, we are just full steam ahead, Pizza Expo. We're putting out all
Crunch
kinds
time.
of fun stuff.
So it's
We're
crunch time. Yeah.
we're definitely at the crunch time, but we're really excited to see everybody. Cannot wait. So make sure that if you're at Pizza Expo, you stop by and talk to us and get on the Hot Slice podcast at the Pizza Today booth.
Yeah, it's there's no better time than to jump on the podcast than because you're there, you're energized, you're
Yeah,
motivated. So it's a great time to jump on the podcast and tell us your story. Tell us what you're all about.
absolutely.
Just find Denise or myself or Jeremy, and we can do that.
Yeah. And if I can do it when I am a super introvert, I believe in you. You all can do it as well.
Right.
So, I love it. So yeah, all steam ahead for Pizza Expo. Hey, if you are not going to Pizza Expo, and I know you keep hearing Pizza Expo, and I can't go, um, don't forget to follow us on social media and keep checking pizzatoday.com because we're going to keep pushing content about the show or stories from the show. I hope that they still do the live block party. I haven't seen that, but I think
I think
they
that's
are
happening.
still doing that. So that's always fun to see. So there's always a lot of ways to be a part of the show, even if you're not able to attend.
Yeah.
So I will say that. But let's dive into who we're talking to because while we're getting hyped up for Pizza Expo, we brought in a special guest.
Yeah, and he got me even more hyped up. So, Nick Bogacz with Caliente Pizza and Draft House in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is our guest today. He's been on the show before. He is leading a workshop on Sunday from 8 to 1 at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And it's all about like, hey, I have opened a pizzeria. Now what? And and I think it's going to be so beneficial to those people who've been open a year or two or not even open yet.
Yeah.
And it's gonna kind of cover all of the bases as far as the workshop goes, the food costs, the labor, kind of everything. So if you want an all-in-one kind of workshop, there you
Yeah.
go.
And when we say workshop, the difference between a seminar and a workshop is these are half day sessions that just dive fully into it and you go through cover a lot of material.
Yeah.
And you often get a lot of take home material. So that's why it's an additional fee, but it is so worth it because of what you take home. Like people take home money basically because they can put it right into work for their pizzeria. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah, we chat on that in one of his seminars, and we but stay to the end. You want to hear what he's bringing 14 employees out this year to Pizza Expo. It's good to hear how he preps them for Pizza Expo and the plan they have. It's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And what he talks about, we're not gonna tease into exactly what it is, but I'm gonna tell you that if you are not a show notes reader on podcasts, you will be today because you're gonna want to basically copy and paste from these show notes while you're going to Pizza Expo or on the plane to Pizza Expo to actually do this.
Yep. So this episode's got quite a bit for you, and I guess we'll see you in a few days if you're going to Pizza
Yeah.
Expo.
See you in Vegas.
All right.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. Calling all pizza pros, this is Big Mott's, the first ever premium mozzarella stick crafted with real whole milk mozzarella and a crispy coating packed with fresh garlic, parsley, and real Pecorino Romano cheese. We're not just a mozzarella stick. We're a national brand that partners with restaurants like yours to deliver serious flavor and unmatched quality. And we're here to support you with brand marketing, driving sales, and putting your business on the map. So if you're ready to give your menu a major upgrade, it's time to team up with Big Mott's. Are you ready to elevate your bakeware game? Spokane, Washington-based Lloyd Pans is the trusted name for professionals and home chefs alike. For over 40 years, Lloyd Pans has been creating innovative food service, bakeware, and pizza pans and tools designed to deliver perfect results every time. Whether it's crispy golden pizza crusts or perfectly baked pastries, Lloyd Pans' durable, stick-resistant, and proprietary pan finishes are a game changer. Visit lloydpans.com to explore our full lineup and find your perfect pan today. Need shipping quotes or custom products? Email sales@lloydpans.com for personalized service.
Hey, Nick, welcome back to the show. Hey, how are you today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to tell you, we are days away. By the time this airs, we are days away from Pizza Expo. We will be getting on planes very shortly after this episode airs. So how excited are you for Pizza Expo this year?
We can't wait. For us, it's of course the Super Bowl of the pizza industry, and my team's ready. We're bringing 14 Caliente Pizza and Draft House members out.
Wow.
Just yesterday, they were doing all their final bakes on their competition pizzas, and Matt, my acrobat's putting together his final routine for the grand stage, and we're ready.
You got somebody in every competition, probably, right?
Just about. Yeah, I think we do. Everybody's really excited. There's some new competitors, and it's always fun to see how excited they are to compete for the first time. It's they treat it as an honor and a privilege, so it's pretty neat to see that.
I have a question. So I'm sorry, Denise. Just
Oh,
real
go ahead.
quick. When you said you were doing your final test on the pizza, so break me down. How does that work? You guys just all come in as a staff and just kind of, how's that process work doing the final bakes?
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. We have manager meetings once a month that we bring all the managers in on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. So usually before Vegas, the last meeting, everybody will come in a couple hours early, anyone that's competing. And then they're in the kitchen prepping together, kind of like as if they were ready to compete. And then when they make their pizzas, usually we order lunch in for the manager meetings. They actually present their pizzas for the manager meeting. So they'll make a couple of their competition pizzas, then they present it to all the managers and they talk about it. Because, some of the competitions you have to present, some that you don't, but it's good for them to get familiar with their pizza. So then everybody gives a bunch of feedback. And then they'll maybe modify it a little bit from here on out, but not much.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
I was just going to say, so yesterday when they were making all the different pizzas, there was a lot of different feedback, and sometimes they'll make a couple different variations of it too. So that, hey, did you like this one better than that? Did you like fresh basil, or did you like maybe a different kind of pesto topping they put on or something like that? But there's a lot of feedback that the team gives them. It seems like everybody's pretty open to the constructive criticism.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions? How many awards do you think you're going to take home? How many between the World Pizza Games and International Pizza Expo? What would you like? What's the goal to take home?
I mean, our goal, I think honestly, it's always education first to
Hmm.
be, and I know that's like the candid, uh, easy answer, but it's the truth. We go out there and learn. I think everybody gets better. In the very beginning, we had so much success early on that we didn't really realize how, maybe quote unquote, how hard it really is. We had some very early success at our first couple pizza expos, and
Hmm.
it is hard. And there's a lot of competition, a lot of very good competition, and I think it's all icing on the cake if we win. But we're ready. We believe in being prepared because then it gives us a better chance to win. So we're absolutely ready. And I would say my acrobat Matt Hickey, who's been with me 9 years, and I
Hmm.
think this is maybe his eighth or ninth Pizza Expo. He's been trying to crack that gold medal with the acrobats, and
Yeah.
he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve this year. So it'll be
Great.
interesting. Yeah.
We'll be front and center. Actually, we'll be side and center, but we'll be watching. Um, let's switch gears on it because we have you packed on doing education this year. Like you are you got pretty full schedule. We've got a workshop and two sessions this year. Um, let's talk about that big workshop because the workshops people I keep telling people how valuable the workshops are because there's such just a deep dive, just intense learning opportunity.
You just legit
Yeah, they
can't get that anywhere else. You can't.
Yeah.
That much of a deep dive from professionals like yourself. It's for the price, it's a layup. It's easy. Yeah.
it is. And you know what I've tried to really do, Josh, is from going out there, and it was reversed. Before first, so many times at Pizza Expo, I was sitting in the classrooms learning. And I think what I always liked is when somebody talks genuine out there, honest. They're not really bragging about their accomplishments, but they're actually telling you how to take it back to your location and use the ideas. So
Mhm.
that's the way that I've always tried to teach out there. Is I try to be, if I haven't done it, I'm not going to talk about it, and I'll tell you the warts and I'll tell you all the good stuff. And this particular workshop is you open your first pizzeria. Now what?
Yeah.
So basically, you're open, right? Like you did all the legwork of construction and everything like that, and got your loans. And basically, the thought is like your first Friday happened. Now what? So that's a there. It's a loaded question. Like
Yeah.
how do you make sure that you stay relevant? Because after those first 3 months happen, and you get you're the new fancy toy of the city for those 3 months. Like after that, how do you stay relevant? And that's what we're going to be going over. A lot of marketing, a lot of training on how to keep training your staff and making them get better. We're going to talk a lot about product, making sure that your product is stays where you wanted it to stay relevant, and make sure
Mhm.
that you're not starting to chimp out on some of your prices, because I think that's what a lot of new operators, after they realize what their costs really are, they say, hey, can I use a cheaper cheese than what I started with or something like that? So we're going to talk a lot about product. We're going to talk a lot about service and how to improve your service after you open. And then we're going to talk a lot about the image of the restaurants and your staff. And then, of course, we're going to dig into the marketing to stay relevant for at least the first couple of years of your operation.
I'm
Yeah.
glad this session exists because
Yeah.
at the beginning of the keynotes of every year, we get like a raise of hands of how many don't even have a pizzeria yet? How many are just in their first year? And it's an
Yeah.
overwhelming amount of first timers and people who don't even own pizzerias yet. So a course like this is tailor made for them, and I think they could get so much out of it.
I agree. And the other thing I try to do when I'm there is I leave time for questions.
Hmm.
And I try to do it two ways. So one will be, hey, we're going to start with, if you have a question, raise your hand. I'll answer them as we go. If for some reason we start to have so many questions, then we'll save them towards the end. But I try to answer everything as we're going. I try to pull everybody up close. Try to mix up whether we're sitting in a circle or sitting together in front of the room, and just kind of really having a good conversation, along with a nice course summary that I'll bring with me, packet to hand out, and some slides and stuff like that. But I try to make it that somebody could leave and they came in way better and way more prepared after they
Hmm.
took the course.
Yeah.
I think new operators sometimes, especially new operators or prospective operators, like they have this idea that that they're not going to have that burst of a bubble after, they get open, that they're going to see that they expect that how it operates within that first couple of months, it's going to be how the pizzeria rides. So I think that this is an important session for those folks to understand that to maintain, there's a lot to maintaining the business to keep that excellence moving forward.
There is, and I think the other thing that I try to do from teaching the classes, I feel like if they want to pay to be in the workshop, but second, put their time there to be there because everybody's time's so valuable. I go ahead and give everybody my phone number and my email, and I say, hey, feel free to text me when you have questions. Feel free to email me. And from the people who've taken the paid workshops over the years, I get texts and emails, all throughout the year that I answer back and random questions. And I'm just honored to have the privilege to be able to teach and really push the industry forward. So I look at it as, something that's really important, and I want to make sure I do it right. So if anyone comes to the workshop, they've got my ear that they can go ahead and bend all throughout the year as well.
Yeah. And it's something different to be really good in the pizza business, but it's a whole other thing to be able to teach what you do well in the pizza business. So I just commend you for being able to put that all into a workable, class, because I understand that that's got to be very difficult and challenging to explain how to be successful in this business.
Yeah, it is, but I always think honesty is the best way, and talking about the successes and the failures, and because it's real easy to get up there and start talking, and then people will feel like that's great that it worked for this guy, but I could never do this. And I don't want it to ever be like that. I want it to be like, hey, this is, it worked for me and it can work for you, and kind of dumb it down to the way of why it worked for me. So I
Yeah.
try to have that perspective when I'm teaching the class, realizing that I've sat in courses where and not just Pizza Expo, anywhere, business courses where you're like, that's great that that idea worked for this person, but in
Mhm.
my city, it could never work for me.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel that way. And the biggest challenge I think teaching with that perspective is the labor pool, because they'll ask, what's your minimum wage in Pennsylvania? And we're 7.25. And then when you're
Yeah.
talking to somebody in Washington State who may be 17.25 for minimum wage, those. But I think after got those kind of questions the first couple of years of teaching, you get an idea how to answer those.
Mhm.
That labor is all based off of, it is based off state to state, and it's going to be different. Like if I'm talking about running a lower 25 or 26% labor in Washington State or California, you're probably never going to be able to do that. But that's where you try to make it up on your food costs, and that's what we try to teach as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I kind of want to get into one of your seminars, purchasing an existing pizzeria.
You're so
That comes
good
up a
at it.
lot in the interviews we talk with the other operators that, just last week we had one and she bought an existing pizzeria. So, tell us a little bit about the seminar and what to expect.
Yeah, purchasing existing pizzeria, that might be my favorite thing to do, to be honest,
Yeah.
um, because I realized early on that I like good deals, pennies on a dollar. Everybody's asked us a lot of times how we've expanded so quick. Going on year 13 here. We've got 9 locations and all the stadiums. And really, the key's been purchasing something that's open already. We've never done a build out from ground up. Um, and another real key that I'll dig into in this particular seminar is going to be the owner financing.
Hmm.
Of those 9 deals we've made, I believe 7 of them have been owner financing and owning the buildings at all as well. So I'm going to dig into my tips on how to get the right deal. Just in the last, we closed on a deal in October with 3% interest, and think about it. You know what the interest rates are right now, and everyone's like, "Well, how would you get 3% interest? When did you negotiate that?" Well, the deal closed in October, and I plan on telling everybody at the seminar how I was able to negotiate 3%
Wow.
interest.
Yeah.
That's worth the price of admission right there.
No
There you
joke.
go. There's a teaser for you.
That's awesome because I know we had in the past talked about how you were able to not only take over pizzerias but turn them into your restaurants within a week. Like it's just it's
Yeah.
mind-blowing of
I
how
really,
fast you turn these over.
I really want a reality show of just that, of you
Yeah.
guys turning over pizzerias and opening up Calientes.
Well, I think in the beginning we didn't know any better. That was a
Yeah.
lot of it. Like we just would go in and the thing is, the thing I always say is like the money is tight and it doesn't matter how much you have. There's just the longer you try to get open, the more it costs. So the
Mhm.
quicker that you can get open, the less it's going to cost, which all makes sense. But then no, I always believe that it's never going to be 100% perfect. That you're going to, no matter when you open, you're still going to realize that you need to buy more 10-inch screens or 10-inch, more serving knives or whatever it is, or you need more menus or you need more glasses. Like all that stuff, it can never be perfect. That's just the way I look at it. So I just want to get open and then we'll figure out the rest of the stuff. We do a lot of stuff on the fly. And then after the first couple of weeks, I mean, you've got revenue coming in. You can go ahead and say, you know what, we do need a little bit bigger make table, and then you've got the revenue to buy it. I just think it makes sense to get open as fast as possible. So I'll be talking about that when we talk about purchasing the existing pizzeria too.
Oh, that's awesome. Real quick, let's get an update. What's happening with Caliente? Where are you at with the business? Where are you headed? Just kind of fill us in
Sure.
of Caliente itself.
Yeah, real quick, the 2012 was the beginning, and then we have the 8 locations. We opened number 8 last year in October,
Mhm.
and then we also opened a full production brewery last year. It's kind of our sister company, Dough Daddy Brewery. Every Caliente has 20 taps of beer, along with liquor, wine, full cocktails. So we were able to buy a brewery and 10 of the 20 taps is all Dough Daddy. It's a 10,000 square foot production facility, brew pub, beer garden. I mean, it's a beautiful space. And now we're producing all our own beer for all the pizzerias. Then on top of that,
Wow.
we have 22 different concession stands over 6 different stadiums. So Penguins, Pirates, Penn State, Pitt Panthers, and then Penn State hockey, and just really taking over the concession world here in Pittsburgh, doing really well with that. And then what's new is we're going to be doing the U.S. Open here in Pittsburgh
What?
in June. So we're going to be on the green for a week selling slices, and then also in the VIP membership area, we're going to be selling slices as well. So we'll be 7 days of the U.S. Open will be the official Pittsburgh pizza in there.
Oh, that is awesome. And what name recognition. I mean, everyone all over just knows your name. Like it's just you've got it everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, the branding's been really good. The stadiums are awesome because we've done a really good job of if you go to a Penguins game, it looks like it threw up Caliente. Same with the Pirates game. And probably as a sports fan, going to the Steeler game, we have a 16-foot neon Caliente sign in the end zone. It's probably
Wow.
that's one of my favorite things of the whole entire of everything we've ever done. Like every time I go into the stadium for the Steelers and see that giant Caliente sign, I kind of pinch myself. Like, how do we do that? But not bad for a pizza guy.
And you're creating memories too. Like if you're going to this, people are going to the football games, the baseball games, the hockey games, and they're getting your pizza. And if you're young, you're going to remember that. It's creating a lot of memories, and man, it's just great that you're in there. It's fantastic.
I have a question
Yeah, it's
for
it's
you.
neat, it's one of those things where it's such a great industry because it was one of those things that we're 2019. I was over in Naples, Italy, on a trip, and I was with Tony G, and I said to Tony about the stadiums that I had maybe a thought of trying to do them here, and Tony being our number one ambassador of the whole entire industry, just the way he was talking about the stadiums kind of gave me the inkling that we could do it too. And I
Mhm.
think that's what's great about this industry is there's such great ambassadors out there. There's just the industry standard of excellence and everybody working together and trying to make it a better industry. And I just feel like that's our duty, to push it forward and just keep making pizza the better and better, and that's really what everybody's trying to do. So I think the stadiums is a testament to that. That it's just one of those things that um, everybody in the industry really could do something like that, because these stadiums want to have local flair to them. They really do. And if you can commit yourself to it, it's not so much hard to do. It's just like anything else, it's a commitment.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. When you had mentioned your brewing operation, I'm curious because you've had a long-standing business as a draft house with lots of taps. And was there a shift within your customer base when you switched to more of your house taps, or are you still doing a lot of other taps as well?
So we're still doing a lot of other taps. It's definitely been
Hmm.
tricky. Couple different things, right? Like one, you got to convince your staff because they have to convince the customer that it's still good quality beer.
Yeah.
Um, and I think what was hard in the beginning was um, we contract brewed in the beginning, which means we had somebody else making it
Hmm.
before we bought the brewery. So we had like 4 lines that were ours, but we got proof of concept that it was going to work. And then what we did was when we bought the whole brewery, we took over the head brewer that was there for 10 years. And developed a lot of approachable beers, and that's really what a lot of what we have is approachable beers,
Yeah.
and it seems like it's worked out really well. The meeting I was talking about that we had with all the managers yesterday, we actually had at the brewery, and the
Hmm.
reason we had it there was we it's a year we're a year in, and I wanted to show everybody like, hey, this is not a rinky dink operation. Like if you're serving, our bar managers, they need to be proud of what we're doing, because it's
Hmm.
not just like sometimes you hear pizzerias or restaurants bought a brewery, and really it's like a 3 barrel system, and it's one guy brewing 2 days a week or one day a week or 2 days a month.
Yeah.
This is like I mean, it is, when you see it, it blows your mind. It's 10,000 square feet. There's 20-gallon tanks everywhere, barrels that we're aging beer in. We've got a salesman who's out there selling it to the market. With our stadium relations, we have our beer in PPG Arena. We have it in Heinz or Acrisure Stadium now, and we also have it in Beaver Stadium. So we
Wow.
have it in the major stadiums. We have it in a lot of different bars and restaurants already. It's really taken off. I mean, it's a really cool thing to see. And I think the hardest challenge is always time. You put so much time in the Caliente, and then it's like, okay, now I've got to shift and make sure I'm giving the right amount of time to the
Hmm.
brewery as well. So it was a time shift, mind shift. Probably was the biggest challenge, but it's been really rewarding. Just about 2 weeks ago, Angie asked me like, what do you think we're a year in? And I said, well, yeah, I'm glad we did it, because
Yeah.
it's definitely a cool thing.
Oh, absolutely. And what a leg up for your pizzeria that you can have mostly your beer selling. It's your
Yeah,
product selling.
yeah, it's
You
been
see a lot
good.
of breweries with pizzerias like pop-ups there. So it's like, yeah, this what you're doing, it just makes total sense for your brand.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too that we're building a whole new brand. So we've had a
Hmm.
lot of branding, and we're doing a we're canning. So we've got a lot of canned
Hmm.
beers too. We most of the Caliente signs, they're nice signs on the building, but we got this giant 8x8 um, light light up sign of the Dough Daddy guy, and we created him out of a sketch. Just the whole thing's been it's kind of mind-boggling, but I do love when we get people in that know Caliente, have been to the restaurants, but they haven't been to the brewery. And when they see it for the first time, it's just like their mind goes, because they just can't believe what we've done. It's cool. It really really is. It's added a whole nother dynamic to what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely a new dimension to your whole restaurant and business portfolio. Like I think it's really neat to be able to go into that direction. It's fun. And also I'm a beer geek, so I'm all for it.
Yeah. And, a lot of what I'm trying to do too is, when we're trying to build the brewery, I do think about how we expand a Caliente, and I say
Hmm.
this and mean it. Expo is probably the number one way we've expanded Caliente. Everything we've learned there. So last year
Hmm.
we went to the GABF in Denver. We're booked to go to the Craft Brewers Conference at the beginning of May. Going to the expo, starting to know people in the brewery industry. That was the way that we built Caliente. Was going to all the expos, all the great people that I've met the last 11 years or so going to expo, and all the relationships. And I mean, I talk about a little bit when people call me with questions. I mean, there's people that I call on a regular with questions in my business too that I've met from expo, because you never know who has the answer, and everybody's so giving in our industry.
Absolutely. One thing I'm always curious about, as you travel to Pizza Expo and you make your lists of what you want to do and what you want to accomplish and what you want to get out of the show, what are the big things that you're really looking to make sure you learn or do at Pizza Expo? Like what's high on your list?
You know what? I love that you asked that question, because so yesterday after the meeting, what I do with everybody is I go ahead and I have them fill out something we call the impact primer. So
Okay.
so everybody who's going to Expo, we got 14 people going. They have to fill out this impact primer. We've done this for like the last 7 years, and what the impact primer is it's a sheet that has everything on it to kind of get your mind right. So it says challenge, three biggest problems or challenges I'm currently faced with. And you put them on there. The opportunity, your three greatest growths and areas I need new ideas and knowledge. People, what's the three most important people I need to find right now? Partners, vendors, employees. And then resources, impressions, and impacts. So they fill this out. So like I told them yesterday, I said, it's like you buy a new car, you bought a red Honda, all of a sudden you're driving down the road and you see red Hondas everywhere. I said,
Mhm.
that's why we fill out this impact primer, what you're looking for when you get out there. And then you start to define those things when you're out there. You may be next to somebody in a competition and they're talking about all the stress that they go through at their store. And you're like, hey, how do they manage their stress? And you find ways out. Or maybe we're looking for pieces of equipment. So we try to fill out the impact primer, which I don't know if that's what the answer you were looking for, but
No,
we do
that's
have a detailed,
amazing.
yeah,
That's
we have a
perfect.
detailed way of what we do. We have them all fill out the impact primer, and then I ask everybody to give me 10 takeaways when they come back in an email before they hit the plane. I say, hey, in your Apple Notes, just jot down anytime you think anything's interesting, and then shoot me that list at the end. So if we've got 14 people, I've got about 140 takeaways to look at it. And I still myself, even though I'll be teaching and on the showroom floor and everything else, I find myself, I will dip in a few seminars. I've got a couple circled. I always, I'm a big advocate for Pizza Man Dan. I always get stuff out
Yeah.
of his course. So I know I'm going to sneak into a couple of his for sure. But, I'll sit in the chairs and learn too. So we try to stay pretty active and make the most of this trip. And the other thing I do for my team, if you're bringing a good bit of team out, we have an itinerary. So everybody got
Mhm.
the itinerary, and it is every hour of the trip planned out from dinners to where they need to be, what room numbers, who the speakers are. Hey, we like to sit up front. Some of the courses that I know fill up quick, I say make sure you get there 15 minutes ahead of time to get a good seat,
Mhm.
and a lot of tips like that. So we try to make it we've got a really nice crew. Everybody's very excited this year, so we're real excited for it.
That is an excellent suggestion for people. I love that. I hope that people take this away, and as they fly out to Vegas, they're filling out their primers. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll just shoot it over to you if you want to link it in the notes of this podcast. You can. I'll send it
Oh,
right over to you.
Yeah,
hey, that'll be
absolutely.
great. We'll put it in
It's
the show
neat.
notes.
So many
Yeah,
people benefit from it.
yeah, there's
Absolutely.
one of those. I went to a business course back in 2015, and they had us fill out the impact primer before we went, and then I kind of made it my own for Pizza Expo, and I think it's great. Especially like they're used to me giving them goals and stuff like this, so it's
Mhm.
not weird. They're just like, oh, here's Nick again, so it kind of works out good.
You're greasing the wheels. You're helping getting their minds right for what they're going to experience at
Because it's
Pizza
easy to get,
Expo.
yeah. I'm sorry, Denise. It's easy to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You walk in there and like you're just kind of going in every direction, and the fact that you give them a path to go on is fantastic.
Yeah,
I
it
love
is.
that.
You know, the itinerary helps a lot. And everybody wants to root everybody else on when they're competing too. So it's like, hey, I understand if people are competing, but we could literally just root everybody on and nobody go to classes. But the seminars, like, they're so valuable. They really are. I think if it's somebody new who's listening to this podcast and trying to decide what to do, absolutely go into the rooms, go into the seminars, take a couple workshops. Like that's where you're gonna really get the nuggets, and then the relationships. You know, make sure that you're talking to people. Go to Beer and Bowl. Don't be afraid if you've been reading somebody's article on pizza today. Go up to them, introduce yourself. You know, just make the most of it. Play all out. You're there for 4 or 5 days. Play all out the whole time you're there.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Don't hold anything back. Just if you want to meet somebody, just they're humans just like we
Kind of
are. And people always say that like
That's it.
I heard it from Tony G too. He was just like he's like I'm excited to meet people too. You know, so it's great. All right, well, Nick, we won't take up too much
It
more of
is.
your time, but we thank you so much for popping on to just get us excited for the show. We're so stoked and we can't wait to see you Sunday or Monday. One
I
of
feel
those
like I need to fill out a primer now.
Get a
I feel
I
count
know,
ones
right?
on.
he's kind of pumped me up for it. I kind of feel like I need to
Well,
do
I just sent it over, so yeah, it's on its way. So you can definitely fill it out. Yeah,
Sweet. Well, I'm gonna send it to our entire team and be like, all right, let's fill out this primer. Let's get it going. So,
there you go.
all
Thanks so
right,
much, Nick.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, can't wait.
We'll see
all
you.
right, Nick. We'll see you here real soon.